So the whiny Viltrumite, aka Superman, is back for season 2 of My Adventures with Superman. Now they did have episode 1 and 2 come out at the same time, and normally I just do like a review for both of them. I think I'm gonna do this separate and do 2 videos, one for episode 1 and one for episode 2. So this is gonna be my review of episode 1. I'm gonna go through what happened, point out what went wrong, so wrong, and then give my review for it. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So the episode starts off with Clark having some visions and stuff of his father telling him something, but there's another one, and things, pieces of his ship raining down from the sky, and he gets up all freaked out. But he doesn't have time to worry about that because apparently it's Valentine's Day, and he needs to come up with the perfect Valentine's gift for Lois. When he tells people what he's gonna do, get her some ramen and have them sit and watch the sunset while they eat and think. Cat Grant literally now looks like a mannequin with makeup for some reason. I mean, it wasn't the first time I saw it. Was like, why would you do this to this character? But it's what it is. That's telling him that, oh, that's not good enough. He has to do some grand gesture, and everybody chimes in, and he's all worried about this whole, what am I going to do? This big grand gesture. I have to do something for Lois, and he's freaking out. I mean, God forbid you worry about this secret government agency that wants to murder you. But, sure, let's worry about Valentine's Day. That's way more important because, you don't have to be alive to do it, but still, whatever. So while that's going on, Jimmy, as I mentioned last time, he has his got his Flamebird podcasting bought by the Daily Planet, and he now has to run it and stuff, and he got like $5 million, and oh my God, it begins immediately. The idiot is spending money like it have no tomorrow. He buys some Valentine's cards for people, spends a couple $100,000 on those. Understand me? And then when it is Lois and Clark go to Star Labs because Perry is saying how Vicky Vale constantly scoops them on stories and they need to do better. I mean, Vicky Vale is in Gotham, or in Metropolis where Superman is, and rather than any of you all actually work, you're also standing around gossiping about Valentine's Day. Gee, I wonder why you aren't getting production out of these people. But anyway, so Lois tells her that she has some friend at Star Labs who is something about some meteorite and stuff. So they go there to see this person. While there, Jimmy runs into Ivo's former assistant Alexander. Yes, we all know where this is going, right? Runs into Jimmy's former assistant Ivo, who can't get a job because of his former association with Ivo when he decided to go crazy and attack the city. Yeah, when you work for a lunatic people, this is what happens. And he gives him some advice about forging his own destiny and all kind of stuff that won't come back to bite anyone in the ass, I'm sure. So Lois's friend Hank Henshaw tells them that they pick up this meteorite, and they're not sure what it is because it's been changing direction, and they lost it, and it's somewhere over the Arctic. When they get a shot of it, Clark realizes it's a ship that he apparently blew up, but it didn't blow up, and it's somewhere in the Arctic, so they need to go and get it. And once again, Jimmy decides to spend money he doesn't need. He literally buys a plane with the Flamebird insignia on it, and things spend like $1 million or something so on this plane to fly them to the Arctic. I mean, it's not like Superman could fly. It's not like he could pick up the both of you, whoosh over there, and you'd save money. But no, give black man a little bit of money. He has to be stupid with it, spending money to buy a plane that you don't need. Not the last he's going to be spending money like an idiot, no. So when they get to the Arctic, now Clark starts to have more visions and ends up going after this hologram of his father. Lois and Jimmy try to follow him. Clark ends up inside the ship and meets the hologram of his biological father, Jor-El. he starts to ask him questions like, where did he come from, who he is, why did he send him there, all of this. All these different questions. And then Jor-El actually starts to speak English and asks him which one he wants to answer first. What Jor-El tells him is that the translation program needed time to properly identify the language and speak with it. He said he tried to talk to him the first time when he was a kid, but he didn't listen and he locked him away for 10 years. So within 10 years, you didn't have enough time to run this translation program and get it accurate. So the next time you speak to him, he would actually understand what you're doing. I mean, you were locked away for 10 years. You literally had nothing else to do. But no, that didn't play off, and we had that whole nonsense last day. So here's what he tells him. He tells him, the Kryptonian Empire spread across the universe, conquering bunch of different worlds until they ran into an enemy that they couldn't defeat, and the Kryptonian race was on the verge of total annihilation. So Jor-El and his wife sent Clark away to keep him safe. So Clark is what he saw on Doomsday that you know this ship came through and whatever. And he was, and Jor-El tells him that ship was a ghost ship. If it was a ghost ship, why it had robots coming out and attacking people? I don't understand. And then that was it. That was actually one other part. He tells him that, he's not alone. His cousin, Kara, was sent with him, right? And he needs to find her and stuff, and he has to get some key to locate it and stuff. So we're gone from Krypton being a peaceful world full of scientists and stuff to a bunch of deranged lunatics who wanted to conquer with the Kryptonian Empire. Anybody else kind of thinks this sounding a little bit like Invincible to you? I mean, just saying, but yeah, they wanted to conquer and stuff. Then they ran into this enemy they couldn't defeat. No, don't tell us who the enemy is. I mean, clearly that's not important. And they were getting wiped out, so they sent their son to Earth. I mean, it's not like you all couldn't come along with him because, you had ample time and clearly you could have done it, but no. And that's how they ended up. That's the whole situation. So that's his explanation. It's funny how he left out the part about kryptonite, because from what I understand, kryptonite is radioactive parts of the world of Krypton, right? The fact that Jor-El not only knows what kryptonite is, but apparently all the other Kryptonians knew about it and the effect that it actually has on Kryptonian technology. There's only two things I could think that this version of kryptonite would be, which is one, it was somehow created by this enemy, whoever they may be, to destroy Kryptonians, or two, these people were literally living on a radioactive planet that was trying to kill them every second of every day. But no, let's not get any explanation at all in regards to that, because yeah, that'll be perfectly fine. God of mercy. So while Lois and Jimmy are, creeping around the spaceship, Lois then remembers, oh wait, it's Valentine's Day, so all of Clark's worrying was clearly for nothing. While they are there now, who shows up on the ship? Amanda Waller, Wade Wilson, and Agent Ethan Avery from Task Force X. And they're looking to commandeer as much Kryptonian technology as possible because, it's perfectly fine to rob technology now. God forbid you do anything of your own. So when they are there, they discover Lois and Jimmy. Superman shows up. Well, actually, what happens is that Superman is on his way to Jimmy and Lois, and Jor-El is telling him how he brought his weak human mate on board who has none of their powers and abilities. And then he tells him that, he doesn't know how things work on this planet, but if he had done that to his wife, he would have to make some kind of grand romantic gesture because that makes sense. So anyway, Superman shows up and decides to try and attack. Tries to stop Agent Ethan Avery because everybody's an agent now. Who activates his Kryptonian tech and turns into some kind of giant hulking monster and starts attacking Superman. They're fighting and stuff. They bust through the ship and they end up in the chamber where the kryptonite is, because the kryptonite is still in the ship and it's affecting the ship. It's causing the ship to go haywire and it's trying to purge Jor-El from it and all this sort of stuff. When Amanda Waller and Wilson realize what the kryptonite is doing, they need to get it. So Wilson goes and tries to dig it out. Superman blasts him, stuff. Jimmy and Lois get the kryptonite and seal it away. They start to continue. Superman continues his fight. But once the ship, the kryptonite is gone, Jor-El is able to use the last of his remaining abilities to purge them from the ship and transport the intruders elsewhere and turn the spaceship into the Fortress of Solitude. Fortress of Solitude is floating there. I will admit it doesn't look bad. I mean, it would have been better if it wasn't, that apparent to everybody around him. But, it doesn't look bad. I'll admit that the Fortress of Solitude actually does look pretty good. It really does look pretty good, in fact. So then, before Jor-El completely disappears, he tells Clark that he has to find this key to locate Kara. And then, Lois also overhears that Amanda Waller is holding her father prisoner. So all of that is going on, and Lois asks Clark to help her rescue her father. While they're all talking about stuff, we get to realize that when Wilson was trying to dig out the kryptonite, some of it got onto his sword, so now Waller has access to kryptonite. This mysterious enemy is still conquering some other worlds, all this other stuff. So all these things are going to combine. I would admit for our first episode out the door, this one was not completely awful. There were some things that, still not fan of this thing at all, but there was something that were actually pretty interestingly done. I mean, the Fortress of Solitude, actually, I will say, it does look good in my opinion. Great. This constant thing of everybody being some kind of agent and using some kind of Kryptonian tech and all this nonsense, getting old fast. But that's what happens. So my final rating for episode 1 of season 2 of my adventures with Superman, I will give this episode a 2.3 out of 5. And my rating in regards to this one. Okay, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I have a different opinion. I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.